Yo, what is up, guys? We're going to do just a quick live stream, go through some bets. Today was not a great day for me. I mean, it was a decent day. We got some decent starts on Prize Picks, but one of the only books to give me, pretty good betting limits is WinBet. They allow pretty big bet sizes. In West Virginia, if you watch the highlights of this game, absolutely insane. They lose the game on a Hail Mary that, makes my spread lose. But regardless, we got some good plays on Prize Picks, at least some good starts. We got the possibility for a 4 for 4 here, 4 for 4 here. That's no good. Here, we're one play away. We need Kenneth Walker not to score. So most of these plays given out on live stream, and overall pretty good start on Prize Picks to a lot of these, a lot of green. So without further ado, let's kind of get into some picks, for this weekend. So one play I just locked in is you can see lines are ripping towards the Rams to go over. So I hit their over 13.5 first half team total. You can see Pinnacle has ripped this all the way down to minus 148. Pinnacle is known to be one of the sharpest bookmakers. So all this tool is going to do, the positive expected value tool, is, whatever. You put in all the sports books you use. You can look at a specific sport if we want to look at football. And it's just kind of going to, point out value in the market. So, Josh Oliver, over 11.5 receiving yards. You can get this, plus 120 on Bovada. It doesn't even look like basically no other sports book is even giving you plus money. So there's some good bets out there. So let's start out, though. Let's just kind of look at everything. Maybe we start out on Prize Picks, and then we can head over to Underdog Fantasy. Just kind of take a look at all these platforms. I like to, before bed, the great thing about sports betting is the market never closes. Right? You never know when the best bets are going to occur. So, there's always a reason to be looking for bets. The market's open 24/7. Lines can move. Players can get injured. Lineups can change. Like sharp action come in. Sometimes the best bets occur at the most random times. At 2 a.m. on a Thursday, we got this great bet on, Fliff. So what we can do is we can go here and we can take a look at Prize Picks because there were some good plays, and we can just start to build a little slip. So let's go here and let's just kind of take a look. So the first play that OddsJam is recommending, so this is a League of Legends play. We'll get to some NFL plays here in a bit, but this game's about to start. We got an hour until game time, so give everyone a reason to stay up a little longer, turn on the game. Usually you can watch this stuff for free. There's free streams for it. But if you look at this player, Kiaya, it's like Prize Picks has her line at 6.5, Hot Streak 5.5, ParlayPlay 6, Underdog 5.5. So again, like all these books, Underdog Fantasy, that's $1 billion company. They put a lot of money into their ability to set lines, right? They have really good models. So basically the key to sports betting is you kind of want to treat all these different sports books as data points, right? Like you're not going to create a better model than Underdog Fantasy, which is a it's $1 billion company. Same thing with Prize Picks. So what you want to do is you want to use these sports books against each other. Where do their models get out of sync? Where are their discrepancies? Those are the plays you want to look at. So all this kind of fantasy optimizer is going to do is, scan all this crap, read in all these lines, and try to point out discrepancies, so you can find some value in the market. Just like an investor, as a sports bettor, finding value is important. So next play we can go to, why not stick with esports here for a second? So this play looks really good, but what we can do is we can go over to CSGO. So if we look at CSGO, I mean, here's another play, right? Hot Streak has the line at 36.5. They have the under favored. Jock Market 37, ParlayPlay 39.5. So we kind of get a sense just looking at all these books. The line should probably be somewhere around 37, 38, 37.5. Hot Streak, they have the under a little favored. So we're using all this information to kind of be like, okay, seems like a pretty good bet is taking Nithon to go under 40. So this is another good play. Again, we're just trying to, this play's clear as day. You could also middle bet this. You could hit the over on hot streak, hit the over 36.5. So if we go here, man, the site is always running into issues. But you can see they have his line at 36.5. We could hit the over 36.5 on hot streak, the under 40 on prize picks. You just need multiple sports books if you're going to middle bet. But, it's a good strategy for making money. But anyways, let's go back to prize picks. So we now have a couple plays. And then this play also seems good. So if we go to Elkins, where is MMA? So if we go here and we go to the MMA, nope, we don't want to go here. We want to go to fight time. So 12.5 minutes is 2.5 rounds. I'm already on this play, very small. But again, like prize picks strategy is pretty simple. Prize picks, they give you the same payout if you take the fight to go over or under. Prize picks has fixed payouts. Any 3-pick, entry you create, you're going to get a 5x payout. So we're just following the data. If we go here to, where's MMA? So if we look up this fight, where's the Elkin fight? You'll see when we just kind of look at the data, it's like, oh, the over is favored, right? The over is pretty heavily favored on all these sports books. So if the over is the more likely outcome, according to all these sports books, that's the play we'd rather be on prize picks. It's more likely. It's the favored outcome. Prize picks will give us the same damn payout if we take the fight to go over or under. So the sharp pick, the play we want to be on, is the over. Whew. And then here we got another play. I mean, Josh Jacobs, right? We're just kind of following all this information in the market. They have his line at 17.5 rushing attempts on Underdog, as well as all the sports books. So again, like all these books, treat them as a data point. Like FanDuel is a $10 billion company. You want to put some weight into their odds. You want to put some weight, into where they're setting their lines. All these books have Josh Jacobs' line at 17.5 or 18. JockMKT has him at 18. So getting that extra value, getting that extra edge, that's what's going to help us win on prize picks long term. So we can go to our boy Josh Jacobs and get him under 18.5. And it may not seem like a big deal, like, oh, under 18.5 versus under 17.5 if you play it on Underdog Fantasy. But, like, nobody wins every bet. This is the type of stuff that's like, how you get an edge and win long term is you got to be finding value in the markets. Not that complicated. But anyways, we're already on Bo Nix from a previous live stream. So we got some good plays on prize picks. It's not like there's a ton of stuff out there. You can see there's some lines coming up for receiving TDs, stuff like that. Sometimes there's good plays in these TD lines. So like as an example, I mean, we've used this play a few times, so hopefully we don't have to use it again. Because I know some people, they don't want the same pick and, every slip, we don't want to keep going with the same pick. But I mean, if you look at Jamar Chase, I mean, first of all, he's only scored 1 game out of 5 this season, right? He obviously had 3 last game. But the point is just like, obviously he had 3 last game. So prize picks, they know the under is the sharp bet here. But my assumption is they probably are keeping the lineup because they know, especially after last week where he had 3 TDs, like all the action is going to come in on the over from all the recreational bettors. You don't really see people usually take unders and player, touchdowns. You don't see unders for anytime TD scores, but that's where the value is. All the books have them heavily favored to go under. And it seems like a lot of our prize pick slips, like, this one on Walker, like a lot of them are going to come down to players not scoring a touchdown. Kelsey didn't score tonight. Pacheco didn't score tonight. Really none of the players who everybody was on to score a touchdown. Oh, Pacheco's going to score, like, none of them ended up scoring. So a lot of times the value's on the unders and prize picks, even though it's a little surprising, but scoring a touchdown, it's not easy. So Jamar Chase, I mean, he's a huge favorite to go under. So maybe you like this, maybe you don't. But you can take a look at all these other players. I mean, another good one is Diggs. Obviously, Diggs has been playing pretty well, Did he score last game? I'm trying to remember, but you can see it's the same thing here, right? His under is heavily favored on all these sports books. So again, I never switch it up. Nobody wins every bet. You're going to have bad beats like West Virginia, but when you're following the data, every sports book has them heavily favored to go under. You know, nothing complicated here. We can take digs under and chase under. So here we have a nice little play. None of these plays are in the same game. We have a nice little flex play, and I would bet more on it, but you're going to see, Prize Picks, you can only bet $10. And again, like, I follow a very data-driven approach. If you don't want to bet on Josh Jacobs to go under, Jamar Chase, you know, you can always just skip it, play it as a 5-pick entry, something like that. But let's go back here. And what we can do is let's just see, you know, what else is out there. So I can refresh this. Damn. So here's a crazy play on ParlayPlay. Cooper Kupp. Look at that line movement, right? And a lot of times, like I've explained before, Cooper Kupp, lines are ripping towards him going under 7.5 receptions. Look at all these sports books. Boom, boom, boom. All these lines moving lower. But I've explained this before. You know, like, a lot of lines move due to lineup changes, official starting lineup, stuff like that, you know. Or even maybe the coach says something like, oh, you know, we're not sure if Kupp is completely healthy. So yada, yada, yada. Like, all those things can move around the market, new information. Just like if a company, you know, has a new product that's crushing it and making a lot of money, the stock price will go up. Like, the market is always kind of reacting to new information. So we'll go over to Underdog Fantasy in a sec, but we might as well, you know, take a look at ParlayPlay quickly. And again, here's the play we just locked in on Prize Picks. And we got some really good looking starts on Prize Picks. We'll just, you know, have to see how the rest of the weekend goes. Damn. So take a look at this play. Dobbs. So here we have Dobbs. Sorry, I apologize. We want to look at Dobbs. Odds Jam is saying we should take his over in passing yards. So you can see every sports book, I mean, every single one has him super heavily favored to go over in passing yards, right? Like, nope, this is supposed to be NFL. So let me switch this quickly. I just kind of like showing the data, but it's like, this is crazy, right? Lines are moving too on this betting tool, the sportsbook screen. These line movements are highlighted in green and red. But you can see here, it's like, damn, all these books have his line at 219.5. Parlay plays at 202.5. Like, these are the things we want to be alerted to as a sports bettor, which is all Odds Jam is doing. Like, it's really not complicated. So we're going to have to move quickly on this play, though. So we could pair it with Kupp under, but what I do want to see is just like, you know, when you're betting things in the same game, it's important to consider, you know, the correlation a little bit. So what I mean by that is if we go to, you know, the Rams game, let's see if they have player prop lines up already in their same game parlay. They fucking don't. But anyways, like, you know, you just want to make sure if we're taking Dobbs over and Cooper Kupp under, I think that makes sense, right? It seems like it would make sense. Also, Higbee to go over. All the sports books have him heavily favored. So who knows, right? Why did these lines move? Why is the line moving on Kupp? Maybe the coach said something like, oh, we're going to, you know, target our tight ends more, like Higbee, right? Who knows? That type of stuff can move around lines. So, damn, there are a lot of bets right now. Cooper Kupp also under in receiving yards. I mean, there's different options we can go with. So, you know, Prize Picks has this play as well on Kiaya. So we can take his under. And you can see there's just like a bunch of different options. A bunch of different bets out there. Spears we're already on. Jordan Whitehead. I mean, like, again, you can kind of fuck around with this, but like, I mean, this is pretty clear, right? Prize Picks, all the other fantasy sites have Whitehead's line at 4.5. Jock Market, Prize Picks, right? Like, you know, you just want to treat all these books as a source of information, right? Like, if you've ever been a trader, I used to be a trader, is like you're taught to like look at all the information happening in the market, all the orders, stuff like that. And you use that to like try to identify good trades. Is it's no different in sports betting. Is, you know, Just randomly betting shit with your gut is stupid. I mean, it's 2023. Like, that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't beat the sports books. It doesn't make money. But anyways, we got some good plays. There are actually, it looks like there's a fair amount of plays on ParlayPlay. So we just kind of have to determine, like, okay, like, what do we want to go with? So, this play, Sean Murphy bunting, under 4.5. Let's take a look at this. And we want to play this without insurance. They recently changed their payouts, which is a little annoying, but just kind of how it is. So there's a play we locked in on ParlayPlay. So usually I just like bounce around from sportsbook to sportsbook. Sometimes there's good arbitrage bets. Sometimes there's not, right? Arbitrage is when sportsbooks get, so out of sync with one another that you can bet, equal and opposite outcomes. The Colts and the Jaguars on two different sports books, in this case, DraftKings and Ballybet, to make a risk-free profit. Risk-free money, that's great and all, but you can see, like, I don't use Ballybet really, so there's no plays right now. So I never want to force a bet, but if there's value on ParlayPlay, maybe we hit another slip. And obviously this play on Dobbs is freaking incredible. Over 202.5. All the other books have him at, 219.5. What you could do is you could head over to Underdog Fantasy if you wanted to, and you could, take his under 219.5. Over 202.5, under 219.5. It's like buying a stock for 202.50, and then you turn around, you flip it, you sell it for 219.50. That'd be a no-brainer. Damn. A lot of plays in this Rams game. So we can actually look at some of these plays in the Rams game. And again, there's also some good promos on these sports books, just like Prize Picks has Taco Tuesday. I mean, any customer gets an 100% profit boost. So the odds are doubled, right? Plus 100 goes to plus 200, plus 200 to plus 400. Like, that's crazy. So let's check out, though, let's not get distracted. Let's try to finish out some of these ParlayPlay slips. And again, I try to focus on these books just because they're the main sports books kind of available. So here it's like, Pinnacle or Penny, which is known to be one of the sharpest bookmakers, the smartest sports books. They take bets from a bunch of different countries. They have big betting limits. So they're really good at pricing lines. They have this line at 7.5. And again, like, you got to remember too, like, when you bet with your gut, like sportsbook odds, these books are constantly moving around their lines, their odds based on, new information, lineup changes, injuries, weather changes, crap like that, but also where bets are coming in. If all their smart customers, these sports books aren't stupid, right? They know which customers make money off them. If all of the action from smart customers is coming in on cups under, books will move odds towards the under, because they're like, damn, all the sharp bettors who beat us are hammering his under. So they'll move lines towards his under until, equal action is coming in on both sides. Just like the price of a stock is, the books try to reach that point of equilibrium where there's equal money, kind of coming in on both sides. So we got another play, Jeffrey Simons. So we just need to start building another slip right now. So we can go here. And again, like, none of this stuff's super complicated. So it looks like in general, and in ParlayPlay is nice. You can bump the line in your favor just once per day. But for example, we really like this guy to go, over 7, right? We want to take him over 7. I apologize. What we can do is we can bump him to over 6.5. So if he has 7 kicking points, 2 field goals, and an extra point, we're going to win both plays. We're going to win as opposed to pushing. If he had exactly 7 kicking points, we'd push. Our 6-leg parlay would become a 5-leg parlay. But what I can do is I can bump him down to 6.5 if I want to, get a little bit of extra value there. So Again, it's clear as day. OddsJam is just, this fantasy optimizer, whatever platform you look at, it's just going to point out discrepancies. There's really nothing complicated. Anyways, did I already play this play? What's annoying though is, these books just have pretty low betting limits, some of them. Like you can see Prize Picks, they only let me bet this for, you can see they'll only let me bet this for $10. The hard part a lot of the time is just getting down action. Most books don't take bets this big once they determine you're a winning customer. So ParlayPlay, I have the lowest possible betting limits, only $60 a bet. Damn. So close call here, but we played that with insurance. But what I was going to say is like, I can only bet $60 max on this platform. And, pretty successful. I'm up 4.9K profit. And I signed up a few months ago on $60 bet sizes. I mean, not going to act like it's the most amazing thing in the world, but it's not bad for a little bit of work. Spears under 2.5 receptions. So we'll have to take a look at this. Well, we don't really want to play some of these together, right? Like, although these would pair well together, right? If we want to take Brandon Stevens on the Ravens to go under in tackles and assists, it makes sense to take Titans people on offense to go under as well. Anyways, let's refresh this. They still have that line on Dobbs up, so you can tell it's late at night because they're, kind of asleep at the wheel. A lot of these lines are staying available for a bit longer than you'll oftentimes see they do during the day. So we have Tyler Van Dyke. All the other sports books have his line at 262.5. We're getting him over 252.5. So let's just kind of find some more picks with an edge. So we can go here. And again, sometimes there's value in college football. Sometimes it's esports. It just kind of depends. So then we have Pratt under, and we want this player under. So again, like following the data, I mean, the data never lies, and it's not glamorous. I'm not saying you're going to win every single bet. Never would say something that's stupid. But, when you're finding plays, you understand these platforms, you're finding value in the market, you're getting an edge, you understand the math behind these platforms, their payouts. Like, you're going to have some bad beats, just like I did today, max bet size of $60, but you'll make money. Oh, so I can only do this for $20 max because I use that slide the line promo, but it's not going to let me rebet Spears because I already bet it. So it's like, okay, I can't rebet Spears. So what it's going to tell me to do is what I can do is I'll just switch it to this esports play. And that's fine with me. And again, you could also bump this line instead. QBs you can bump by 5 yards. So what we could also do is be like, oh, maybe we'll take him over 7. But I mean, 6.5 to 7, if you think about the percentage difference, is bigger than 252.5 to 257.5. So I'd rather take it, here. So here I locked in my $20 promo play, only a max bet size of $20. But what's nice about this is you can do this promo where you can bump the line in your direction on ParlayPlay. You can do that every single day, which is nice, obviously. So we can go here. And on Underdog Fantasy, you'll see they're too smart. They don't have a touchdown lineup on Diggs, right? On Prize Picks, there's really good value on, Diggs, no touchdown, Chase, no touchdown. We also had, Derrick Henry, no touchdown. Underdog's too smart. They remove these lines. They don't have Derrick Henry touchdowns up. You'll see the same thing here. Prize Picks ended up removing Derrick Henry, right? They don't have his lineup anymore because it was a good bet. And I'm not saying it's a lock or it's guaranteed to win. None of that bullshit. It's just a play with an edge that hopefully we win. And damn, you can see there's a lot of plays on Underdog. So, take a look at this play in CSGO. So we can take a look at CSGO very briefly. A lot of good, value on Underdog Fantasy and CSGO. We can also take a look at, Fliff. And what's great about this sportsbook, Fliff, is it's just legal, in every state, basically. It's legal almost everywhere in the US, and it's a full-blown sportsbook. So it only has a max bet size of $250, but still, I fire off a lot of good bets on Fliff. We already got some good parlays, some good looking parlays, it looks like, for this weekend where we have the first leg down. But anyways, let's go back here. And what we can do is we can, take a look at Fliff. So let's just refresh this. Let's see what else is out there. So we have this play. This play we already locked in. California, Utah. I mean, some college football bets, stuff like that. Nothing crazy, though. So it's just kind of a grind. Like, these lines are always moving. We're always trying, to find good bets. But without further ado, let's just look at these plays on Underdog Fantasy. So what was the first play we had pulled up? Let's go back here. Okay. So you can see there's a lot of these headshot line discrepancies, and it's so random. But if that's where the value is, right? I mean, that's where we'll kind of be betting. So if we take a look here at CSGO headshots, definitely did not mean to search that. But if we take a look here at these headshot lines, it's like Underdog has him at 15. Hot Streak has him at 13.5. So they have their line lower, and the unders heavily favored. ParlayPlay and PrizePicks have the line at 13.5. I mean, it's clear as day we want to be on this under 15. And again, most of these plays on Underdog Fantasy suck, but they have tens and tens of thousands of lines up, right? You look at Underdog, there are tens of thousands of lines. We're trying to zone in on, okay, like, where is there value in the market? Where's there discrepancies? Where's there some value? Because that's, the starting point for placing a good bet, is there has to be value on it. Like, it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. If you're placing a bet on Riccoli under 13.5 on PrizePicks, this is the same thing, right? It's how many headshots does he have? If you place a bet on him under 13.5 when other sportsbooks are offering under 15, you're getting ripped off. You're not finding value in the market, right? That's why you also want to have multiple sportsbooks. If you're betting this under 13.5 when another book is offering under 15, you're getting screwed. They're ripping you off, right? It's like trying to be a day trader if you have to buy every stock at 2 times the price. How are you going to make money if you try to become a day trader, but you have to pay $500 to buy Facebook? You won't stand a chance. And it's the same thing in sports betting. So on Underdog, if you go through the math behind this platform, Underdog Fantasy, you'll see to make money on this platform, you have to win these over-unders 55% of the time or more for 3-pick entries. So they have a pretty good payout for these 3-pick entries. I mean, you'll see they give you a 6x payout right here for 3-pick entries. PrizePicks is pretty shitty. They only give you, 5x. So it also just kind of, you want to make sure on all these platforms, if you sign up for different platforms, for, different fantasy platforms, you kind of think about how many picks are optimal, because that's really important long term. Like, when you're betting on a sports book like Fliff, all this shit is the same, right? Like, so here we have a play. Gardner Minshew interceptions plus 130, plus 100-ish on every other sports book. I mean, it's clear as day. So I'm going to take him to throw an interception. I want to get rid of this esports play. And then you can see there's another play on Hot Streak, under 5.5. And it looks like they moved the line. You can see the odds of this bet have changed. So really, when you're betting, like, you got to try to move quickly. To to get down on, the best betting opportunities. This shit's not going to last forever. Dak under 1.5 passing TDs against the Chargers. So you can see there's some different options. We can go over to Hot Streak real quickly, which isn't my favorite sports book, but, they have some good plays, so hard to complain with that. So we can take a look at, Raheem to not score a touchdown. Hot Streak is offering plus 111. All these other books have him like minus 110. So really solid value on getting him not to score a touchdown. So this can be the second play we go with. So we have him to throw an interception, okay? And then we have Raheem not to score. And they have a max bet size of $200, so we'll hit it for $200. And if you don't have this sports book, again, like, not going to act like it's the best sports book in the world, but it is a book. What are you doing? Did you take my bet or did you not? What the heck? Your maximum, so they just limited me to $50. So if you take a look right above, they're saying, oh, your max bet size is now $50. Did they move the line again? So now it's down to plus 125. So they're moving the line anyways, but pretty annoying. I used to be able to bet $200 on all this crap. Now they're limiting me to 50. But anyways, just part of the game. So we'll go back here. So basically on Underdog, right, we got to win our over-unders just like this, 55% of the time to be profitable. Literally just going through the math. Underdog has fixed payouts, right? Any 3 picks we select, we're always going to be getting the 6x payout. Overs, unders, whatever. Whatever sport you're betting on. So the entire platform, if you think about it, same thing with Prize Picks. It just boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win. And on Underdog, we have to win our picks 55% of the time or more to be profitable. So if you look at this play, Riccoli, it's like, okay, ParlayPlay and Prize Picks both have his line way lower at 13.5. So obviously they think the under 15 is going to be winning way above 50% of the time. Hot Streak has his line at 13.5 with the under favored, right? You got to consider the juice too. They have his line at 13.5 with the under as a minus 165 favorite. So they're saying, hey, his line should be, first of all, Underdog has it at 15. Hot Streak is saying, well, first of all, his line should be even lower at 13.5. And the under should be super heavily favored. So all this, data makes us realize like, damn, we got a really good bet, on Underdog Fantasy. So we can refresh this. And we can take a look here, right, at this play like Pepzor, 18. Where do other books have him? I mean, we could sit here all day. I'm not just trying. But you'll notice if you look closer to game time, all these bets are going to go away. Every single one. It's typically when books first release odds that you see these, crazy line discrepancies. So here, if we look at B-Sticks, so this play is in a different player prop market. Sometimes the value's in, under 26.5. Other books have him at 24.5. It's like you'd probably be shocked if you saw an NBA player whose line was, 30.5 points. If Luka's line was 30.5 points on Underdog Fantasy, and on Prize Picks, his line was, 28.5. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy how fragmented, inefficient this market is, especially in esports. And the reason is, you got to remember, like, there's hundreds of sports books that have entered the United States. They all want to be unique. They all try to set their own lines, set odds independently. And sometimes they screw up, right? Like, Underdog Fantasy has thousands and thousands and thousands of esports lines up. Look at all this crap. This is only for esports. They can't keep everything in check. They screw up occasionally. And that's when we want to pounce, right? We want to find those spots where, like, yo, they're screwing up and get plays down with an edge. 25, 23. So anyways, there's like different options we could go with, but this seems like a pretty good entry. 5-pick insured. So we can lock in this, right? 5 picks with an edge, rinse and repeat. How we looking on Underdog? I mean, we got some good plays. You got to remember, we're getting a 6x payout. We're betting 100 to win 600. So we only need to win 1 out of 6 of these to break even. Obviously, we want to win more than 1 out of 6, right? But if we lose our first 5, if you lose 5 in a row, you go down $500, you may be discouraged, but the next one you win, you go up $600. So it's not like you have to win every single one of your bets, right? However, that's what's frustrating about betting on these parlay only platforms like Prize Picks is, here we're getting a 25x payout. We're betting 10 to win 250. We're not going to win 50% of these. And I'm not saying I don't think my picks are good. They don't have an edge or, we're going to lose. That's obviously not what I'm saying. Ooh, here we got another play on Justin Fields. Look at this. Lines are ripping towards him to go over 16.5 passing completions. So again, sometimes it's like lineup changes. Sometimes a coach says something. I mean, lines can move for a ton of different reasons. Stuff like this, right? DK Metcalf doesn't practice again on Thursday. All this stuff moves around the market because you got to think about it. Other Seahawks receivers, maybe if the market starts to believe Metcalf isn't going to play, their receiving line starts to move higher. Maybe you see another Seahawks receiver, his receptions line, he goes from over 3.5 at -140 to -180 because Metcalf may not play. But you get the point, like all this news, crap like that, is affecting the market. Saquon Barkley, limited in practice again. All this stuff moves around the market. And again, if Metcalf is out, that doesn't only affect him, right? Or the money line for the game. That doesn't only affect the money line. Geno Smith loses his best receiver, so maybe Geno's passing yards line comes down a bit. Like all that stuff is encompassed in sportsbook odds into the market. Anyways, a lot of these plays were already on, so I'm just going to have to skip them over. But this play on Justin Fields looks great. If you want a different pick to go with, I mean, you can see all the books ripping him towards the over. So what we could do is we can go back here and you can always recreate a new slip with Justin Fields to go over or skip some of these picks you don't like. I mean, whatever, right? Maybe you don't like Josh Jacobs or something like that. You don't have to follow the data precisely. Oh, shit. So you can see lines are moving around in this Colts game. Josh Downs, I mean, look at his over. It's becoming heavily favored on all these books. Whoops. Josh Downs, right? All these sports books have him heavily favored to go over. And again, what's really powerful about sports betting is once you have an edge, so we got 5 good esports picks down. Once you have an edge, or if you have an edge, better put, your ROI is basically every day. I mean, sure, the NFL is still a couple days away. We got to wait until Sunday. But in general, your ROI is daily, right? So for example, if you have a 2% ROI on your MLB bets, what does that add up to over the course of a season? There's 162 games in the regular season. That's a 324% ROI over the course of the season. So your winnings, your earnings compound very quickly. Even just a 1% ROI on MLB bets is 162% return on capital over the course of a season. And the reason you don't bet with your gut is, again, everything is encompassed into sportsbook odds, injuries, lineups, weather, where's action coming in, where are smart people betting. Pinnacle is the sharpest, most sophisticated bookmaker out there. If all of their sharp customers, their smart customers, are pounding the over for Josh Downs, they'll move the line, as they did here, to be much more heavily favored, right? They're using bets to shape their lines. Payment for information, it's called. But again, the reason this matters to us is all these sports books set lines independently. So they all have to update odds. So Pinnacle has a bunch of customers, sharper customers, pounding the over. They've moved it to minus 206. Fliff is still asleep at the wheel, offering minus 145. So that's a no-brainer. And again, if you want to look at, this is the most important calculator in sports betting, a no vig odds calculator. What this calculator does is it just removes the juice from a sportsbook's market. So Pinnacle has the over at minus 206, right? They have the under at plus 152, but that's a market with vig, right? Books make money by charging a spread, the vig. So if you want to figure out the fair odds or the true odds, no vig odds, fair odds, no vig odds, true odds, whatever you want to call it, you just use this no vig calculator to remove the vig. And you'll see, according to Pinnacle, the over should be priced at minus 170 with no vig, right? Just right here, minus 170. So I really recommend, if you're trying to take your sports betting seriously, every sharp bettor, every professional bettor understands this calculator, the formulas, crap like that inside and out. So just like read through this text, feel free to DM me any questions. But right, the way that sportsbooks work is they have models that spit out, hey, here's what we think the odds should be. And then they add in the vig, right? So Pinnacle's model, the sharpest bookmaker out there, is saying, hey, we think the over should be priced at about minus 170, but then they juice their lines to minus 206. It's like a car dealer. You go into a car dealer, they buy your car for 10K, then they go and they flip it, they sell it for 20K. They think your car was actually worth probably somewhere in the middle, $15,000. So they lowball you on both sides. They charge a spread. But anyways, let's go back to Underdog. I mean, there were some more plays on Underdog. A fair amount more plays. So we could go back here. We have some of these good plays down, but if we want to lock in some more, I mean, we could. So even here, you could middle bet this play on like Kiaya, right? You could take him over 5.5 here. And on Prize Picks, we have him under 6.5. So what we're hoping for is he has exactly 6, and then we win both bets. But anyways, there's some more bets out there. What kind of sucks about esports is you don't have as many data points. When you're betting on the NFL, I mean, you have dozens of data points, dozens of books posting lines. But anyways, hopefully this live stream was helpful. Whoa, here's a great arbitrage bet. If you use FanDuel and DraftKings, pull up an arbitrage calculator. Let's say you have $150 on DraftKings, bet $500 on FanDuel. You make a risk-free profit of $11. Arbitrage is when these books get super out of sync, so out of sync that you can bet the over on one book, the under on another book to guarantee yourself a profit, equal and opposite outcomes to guarantee a risk-free profit. So it's a really, useful strategy. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks so much.